Iganya National High School is situated at Iganya, the biggest barangay of Sibalam, almost 6 kilometers away from the capital town. For its 50 years of existence, it is an academic institution which nurtured and produced thousands of graduates who had excelled in their respective fields of endeavor. Catering to 8 feeder barangays, Enhs strives to provide accessible, quality, and relevant education to its learners. Indeed, challenges are aplenty, but this had never intimidated the school leadership, as well as the teachers and the key stakeholders, drawing inspiration from its newly formulated slogan, Enhs, on the road to dynamism and progress. The school frontliners have been actively and collaboratively working together for the welfare of its valued learners. The COVID-19 pandemic has greatly impacted all in the society, especially the education sector. This global crisis has caused a sudden shift of gear. Educational system has to change, so DepEd in particular must cope with the challenges of this time. Amidst fear, reluctance, and criticism, the department stood its ground. As Secretary Lenore Briones bravely says, education has to go on. The children cannot wait. Iganya National High School shares the same spirit of the Secretary. Learning from the school year 2020 to 2021 at Enhs has to take place, whenever and wherever. Governance and course of actions of Enhs are based from its BELCP, or the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan. This roadmap, which was communicated clearly to the teachers last June 21, 2020, and to the parents during the scheduled 2-week orientation from August 3 to 18, 2020, articulated the school's efforts to show its commitment to deliver education at its best for school year 2020 to 2021 amidst the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. Enhs shall implement the printed modular distance learning modality for the following crucial considerations. First, LESF data. Data shows that out of 610 enrollees, 75% have chosen the modular learning. Second, 5 of the 8 feeder barangays are located in the remote areas of Sibalam, where internet connectivity is weak or none at all. Third, out of 605 enrollment last school year 2019 to 2020, 348 are 4-piece beneficiaries, which imply that more than half of the student population come from the low-income families. Expenses for Wi-Fi, internet data, or loads would have been an extra burden for them. Lastly, across all grade levels, very few learners have smartphones, which is needed for online learning. The following steps were undertaken not only for the dry run of modular learning, but the overall preparation of the school for the opening of the school year, which are part and parcel of the effective implementation of the said modality. Pre-dry run, May 2, 2020 to date, preparing the physical environment of the school, which adheres to the minimum health standards set by the IATF, DOH, and DepEd. Enhs deemed it crucial that the physical environment must be prepared. Teachers were assigned a specific area of responsibility from the entrance of the school to the classrooms. Existing hand wash facilities were improved, and new ones for the entrance and the clinic were provided. Temperature scanners, sanitizers, disinfectants, and foot baths were procured. Markings in classrooms and critical areas for physical distancing were made, and framed plastic shields on teachers' tables and workplaces were built. Signages or reminders observing health protocols were also prominently posted. May 25 to June 15, 2020. Enrollment activities. Committees for enrollment per barangay and grade level were created, and announcements and information dissemination were made through flyers and social media. June 1 to 15, 2020. Preparation for the delivery of modular learning. Starting June 1, 2020, teachers reported to school on a rotation basis. Virtual and face-to-face meetings have been regularly conducted for planning, tasking, monitoring, and evaluation of tasks and activities set for the week. A committee chaired by the BE Learning Resource Focal Person, was tasked to make an inventory of available learners' materials, the purpose of which is to have a buffer of materials to retrieve just in case MELCS-based modules will not be made available on time. Sourcing out of funds for module printing. June 16 to 26, 2020. Downloading and printing of most essential learning competencies or MELCs. Preparation of MELCs-based activity sheets by subject teachers. Activity sheets, which will serve as a supplementary materials, follow a template for uniformity and consistency. The principal, a module writer for ADM, provided technical assistance in preparing the activity sheets, religiously checks the said outputs weekly, and compile the same for printing. June 29, 2020 to date. Preparation of teacher's load. Preparation of class program. Creation of additional committees focused on the preparation for the delivery of modular learning. Downloading, printing, and binding of available modules. Orientation of parents for the new normal in the educational system, August 3 to 18, 2020. The orientation of parents for the new normal in the educational system was held in school with prudence. It was scheduled strategically that only 20 persons are allowed to enter the classroom at a given time. Social distancing, no mask, no entry, and other health protocols have been strictly implemented. Moreover, the orientation was carefully presented, the talking points prepared by the principal. A PowerPoint presentation was made by the MIL teacher and has been made available for all teachers. This is to avoid miscommunication and misrepresentation of the crucial information that the parents need to know. Preparation of learner's kit for selected grade 10 learners. A learner's kit includes the modules of the week, activity sheets, learner's weekly plan, journal, feedback form for both parent or learner, directory of hotlines, which contains the schools, principals, subject teachers, guidance counselors or designates, contact numbers and messengers or Facebook accounts, and other emergency numbers such as fire and police. Personalized welcome note for the student from the principal and the teacher is also added to express the warmth of the school's assistance and to establish initial communication. Dry run proper, August 3 to 7, 2020. Modules were distributed to the parents of target grade 10 learners. Distribution was done in school, not in the barangay centers, as already agreed with the parents during the orientation. The main consideration for arriving to such decision is because it has been noted by the parents that the school is the safest place for distribution and retrieval of modules. It was also agreed that during the actual conduct of classes for modular learning, modules can be distributed to every barangay. August 4 to 6, 2020. As earlier mentioned, students have been provided with a directory of hotlines for easy communication with their teachers. GC and SMS messages were utilized by some learners. There were also few parents who came to school for some concerns pertaining to the modules. August 7, 2020. Accomplished modules, feedback sheets, and journals were returned to the parents for checking of teachers and for gathering of feedback for the improvement of the system. Parallel tests were distributed to the parents for learners to answer. Teachers personally visited selected learners for actual conduct of parallel tests. Post-dry run. Teachers conducted a random interview of parents and learners to gather feedback of the dry run. Ongoing checking of modules. Ongoing printing and binding of color-coded modules. Ongoing preparation of activity sheets. Ongoing campaign for support to the reproduction of modules and other needs. In an actual implementation of the school's modular learning, the following system shall be observed. A. Grouping of learners. There will be 20 learners per class. Learners in one class have been grouped per barangay or clustered barangays. A teacher who resides in the same or nearby barangay is assigned as a class advisor. B. Provision of learning materials. Number 1. Modules. Due to the voluminous demand for module reproduction, which the school's MOE cannot afford, a 1:2 ratio will be implemented, meaning a class of 20 will be given 10 modules which the learners will alternately use. This has been communicated to the parents during the orientation. Second, the school will provide a free plastic envelope with handle for the learner's kit and one notebook, which will serve as a journal for the incoming grade 7 students. Other grade levels will provide for their own, as have been agreed to the parents. Third, continuous preparation of teachers of activity sheets and other supplementary materials for effective learning. C. Distribution and retrieval of modules. Since necessary preparations have been complied in terms of the school's readiness and compliance to the minimum health standards, distribution and retrieval shall be done in school campus on a scheduled basis. This has been agreed between the school and the parents. However, flexibility in the system is always considered. For those who cannot go to school to submit and receive the modules, they can always arrange ahead of time so that a class advisor could deliver and collect the modules in designated barangay centers. D. Assessment of student learning. Assessments will be in the form of a portfolio, where written outputs, product outputs, individual performance tasks, formative assessments, summative assessments, etc. as prescribed in DepEd Order No. 8, Series of 2015. Conduct of parallel written or performance tests for evaluation of learning will be an integral part of the assessment process. However, conduct of the said assessment shall be within the context of distance learning, which considers time, learner's capability, educational support from the family, health protocols, among others. E. Psychosocial emotional learning support mechanism. First, provision of directory of hotlines for easy access to emergency numbers. Second, creation of Central Child Protection Committee and subcommittees whose members will closely coordinate with their respective barangays. Third, organization of mother's class in every barangay who will help to those learners without able family members to aid or facilitate their learning. Fourth, parent regular orientation and conference with the aim of helping the learners. Fifth, forging partnership and agreements with LGUs for the learners' well-being. Sixth, open communication between and among learners, parents, and school personnel to varied means or platforms. The school's workforce, especially the teachers, who are the frontliners in implementing this alternative delivery mode of learning under the new normal, have acknowledged that there are still areas needing improvement. The 5-day dry run has given the school the opportunity to strategize more and to work more, with open arms for the changes in the educational landscape and the commitment to be of service to the Filipino learners, and the strong support of our stakeholders. Iganya National High School is confident that together we work and heal as one.